Hey, hi, it's Evelyn, and I would like to talk about things you can do to get less colds and flus and chest infections during the winter. I hope you all got well through the holiday season, and I did so far without any colds, knock on wood. And but it used to be very different. I remember way back when I still lived in the Netherlands, there was like a whole series of years when over Christmas I would be lying on the couch under a blanket, feeling miserable with a cold or even a flu, when the rest of my family was having their Christmas dinner that I couldn't prepare because I was sick. So, yeah, it's the time of year lots of us get sick, and there are actually quite a few things you can do. So, I was planning to make a little video series, like a series of short videos about the different things you can do. And I would like to start us off with discussing sugar, so how sugar affects our immune system. Um, so how does that work? Well, sugar, to start with, sugar depletes nutrients. So when we eat a lot of sugar, or yeah, a lot of sugar, um, it depletes our vitamin D, which is very important for our immune system, vitamin C, and how it works. So that's another important one. And then minerals like calcium, magnesium, and chromium. So, so that's one reason why sugar is not great for our immune system. The second one is it decreases the ability of our immune cells, like the white blood cells, to do their work properly, which is to attack viruses and bacteria for up to 5 hours after you've had quite a bit of sugar. That amazes me. And the other reason why sugar affects your, or how sugar affects your immune system, is through that it feeds the not so helpful bacteria and yeasts in your gut. So they become more prolific, and that affects the really beneficial bacteria in your gut. And as you might have heard, 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And if you don't have the right bacteria, you will notice that. So you will get colds and other infections more frequently. And also, when you eat sugar, your blood sugar increases, and then your body makes more insulin. And when you have a higher insulin in your blood, that causes inflammation as well. So many reasons to go um, a bit lower on the sugar. So what is a person to do? Um, well, to start with, I think it's that I want to say it's not so much about not having any sugar at any point in your life at all. Uh, I think it's still okay to have the occasional treat. You know, we just had Christmas. I had some treats that were a bit more sugary, and I really enjoyed that. And it's not so much about, you know, when there's a birthday, you can never have a cake anymore. Uh, what it is about, what it would be a good idea to start with, is look at your daily patterns. So if you have lots of sugar in your breakfast and your snacks are sugary, and you're doing that every day, and then you're using sauces or things that have sugar in them, and you do that every day, that does affect your blood sugar, your immune health quite a bit. You just think of those blood cells that are depleted for 5 hours. So if you have a sugary breakfast and then you have a sugary snack, that your immune system will be much less effective for the whole day, I would say. And if you then meet somebody with a virus and they sneeze in your face, chances are that you get a cold. So it's more about looking at your daily patterns and then swapping those sugary foods for ones that have less sugar and are more whole foods. And another one would be, if you want to sweeten something, to go for alternatives that are a bit richer in minerals and don't affect our blood sugar so much. So those are, for instance, maple syrup, raw honey, and coconut sugar and coconut syrup are good ones. And then there's I often use liquid stevia as well, which is a herb that's very sweet, and that can sweeten things as well, give you the sweetness without all the disadvantages of eating sugar. And an important thing is to read labels, because there is a lot of sugar in food where we didn't know it was there or how it worked. So to show you that, I would like to screen share with you for a bit. So here I have a just normal orange juice in Tesco's. And then when you look at the labels here, you can see energy, fat, saturates, and this is interesting for me, the sugars. So this in the orange juice is 15.8 grams of sugar. Now it says that the serving size is 150 milliliters. That's like half a glass, I think. So often we drink more than half a glass, don't we? And 15 grams sugar, so you need to know that that 4 grams of sugar equals 1 sugar cube or teaspoon of sugar. So in this case, if you divide 15.8 by 4, you will see that it has 4, so like a small half glass of orange juice has 4 sugar cubes or 4 teaspoons of sugar. Then suddenly, you see it's more than you thought it was. Then I have also Tesco. I'm sorry, Tesco, it's not about Tesco so much. But these are, I had a client who was eating these bars thinking they were healthy, were a healthy breakfast, because she liked to, she didn't have a lot of time in the morning, so she would eat these bars, and she thought like it's gluten wheat free. And there's oats in there, so that would be fine. But as you can see here, each pack of 2 bars, which is a normal serving size, I think, has 11.6 grams of sugar. So if, again, we divide that by 4, it is almost 3 teaspoons of sugar in there. So only if you only had these bars and a glass of orange juice, you already had what was it, for the 7 teaspoons of sugar, which would be your daily sort of allowance. At least that's what the government here says. You should not have more than 7.5 teaspoons of sugar a day. So let's see if we can find something else, like mince pies, gluten-free. They have, you can see on these labels, it says carbohydrates, and then it says off with sugars. And then per pie, it's 21.2 grams. So I don't know. So that would be between 5 and 6 teaspoons of sugar in a mince pie. And I like mince pies, but usually I don't just eat one. So that's a whopper there. That's a biggie. I'll stop sharing my screen. Just wanted to say, if you have frequent colds and flus, watch your sugar intake and see what you do on a daily basis, and try to swap out the ready-made foods like I showed you for more whole foods like fruit and veg, and make sure you read the labels so you get an idea of how much sugar you are consuming, and that might be more than you thought it was. So that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions below in the comments, and let's see you in the next video about how to make sure you don't catch every cold and flu. Bye bye.